If you have over $1,000 in credit card debt, don't invest in stocks, don't refinance your home, and do not, under any circumstances, fall for those 0% APR traps. Because credit card debt is one of the most dangerous financial weapons ever created. And right now, millions of people are unknowingly sitting on a financial ticking time bomb. As of early 2025, the total US credit card debt has risen to approximately 1.21 trillion, reflecting an upward trend from previous years. In the UK, the average household credit card debt has exceeded over £2,500 and is climbing fast. And globally, well, the number of active credit card accounts has seen significant explosion over the last decade. There are nearly 1.3 billion Visa credit cards in circulation. This isn't just numbers, guys. These are real people. The data shows that Gen Zs and millennials are the fastest growing age group carrying month-to-month balance. Why? Because we live in a world where Instagram makes spending feel like self-care and credit card make it painless. But there's a cost, and it's brutal. Real quick, if you're new here, my name is Chika, and I make these videos to help you understand money the way the rich do, so you can start building your very own version of financial freedom. If that sounds like something you're interested in, hit that subscribe button, because every week on Wednesdays and Sundays, I break down money, financial market, and how to protect your wealth. Now, let's get into it. This issue isn't just theoretical for me. I've lived it. In 2022, I paid off over $135,000 in debt in under a year using the exact principles I'm about to share in these videos. And if you want full story on that, go check out the very first video I made on YouTube. Well, maybe don't laugh. Remember, it was my first video, so it feels a little cringe. However, it has a lot of useful information. I'll leave the link in the description. Back then, I believed debt was just a normal part of life, and over half of my income went towards servicing loan. I made nearly every mistake in the book, every mistake you can think of. I took out loans to travel around Europe. I borrowed money to chase crypto hype. I took on multiple loans to finance my MBA, and to top it off, I leased a Range Rover I couldn't afford. By 2022, I was living paycheck to paycheck on a six-figure salary. I finally hit a financial wall. Then something clicked. I committed myself to reading a lot of personal self-help finance book. I binge watched hours of financial content on YouTube. The more I learned, the clearer it became. Consumer debt wasn't just a burden, it was the barrier. That was my wake-up call. And once I saw it clearly, I went after my debt like my future depended on it, because it did. Let's be real. Paying off credit card isn't glamorous. It takes time, effort, and a lot of sacrifice. But the very first step is not negotiable. You need to create a margin. What does that mean? It means you must create space between how much you earn and how much you spend. That margin is your weapon. The bigger it is, the faster you destroy debt. Now, how do you create it? First, by spending less. Cut out every unnecessary cost. That means your Netflix subscription, takeaway meals, designer clothes, impulse Amazon buys, and those on sales items you didn't even plan to get. This isn't about cutting off your joy, it's about cutting down the bleeding. At first, it might feel like punishment. Your friends might laugh, your partner might feel confused, your lifestyle will look different. But remember, this is just temporary. Secondly, you need to earn more. This is where most people stop, but not you. Start freelancing. Become a virtual assistant. Take up weekend shifts. Sell still things on Fiverr or Upwork. Pick up knowledge-based tasks on TaxRabbit. Maybe even get a second job just like I did. If you earn $3,000 or $4,000 a month, you can only cut so much, but you can earn a lot more if you're willing to put in the work. And the trick is not just about earning more so you can spend more. This is how people stay broke. They succumb to lifestyle inflation. When you earn more so that you can eliminate the debt faster. A strong margin is your financial engine. Build it, protect it, and use it with discipline. Now that you've created that margin, you're spending less and earning more, the question becomes, what do you actually do with that extra cash? Well, most people are tempted to start investing. They hear about the stock market, index funds, real estate, and they want in. But let's slow down for a second. If you have a credit card debt, especially debt with about 20 to 25% APR, investing shouldn't be your priority yet. Here's why. When you pay down high interest debt, you are actually locking in a guaranteed return. Paying off a credit card with 20% APR is like earning a guaranteed 20% return on your money. Compare that to the stock market. Historically, the average return of the S&P 500 is somewhere between 7 to 10% annually, and even that comes with risk. Some years you might earn more, other years you might actually lose money. But when you pay off debt, that is guaranteed, that's risk-free, that's immediate. So let's say you freed up an extra $500 a month from cutting costs and picking up extra work. Instead of spreading that money across investments and savings account, just throw it at your debt. And don't stop at minimum payments either. Every extra dollar you pay above the minimum reduces your principal balance. That means less interest owed over time and the faster you pay it off. It's not flashy, I know. You won't get to brag on social media about your portfolio, but it's the smartest move you can make right now. Because once you eliminate high interest debt, then only should it make sense for you to start investing and building long-term wealth. Once you've got your financial systems under control, your spending is down, your income is up, and you are consistently throwing the extra cash at your debt, then and only then should you consider using a 0% APR credit card. Now, here's how these cards work. They offer you a grace period anywhere between 6 to 18 months where you pay 0% interest on the balance you transferred over. That means if you have a $5,000 credit card balance and you transfer it to a 0% APR card, you could technically pay it off over the period without racking up any new interest. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the trap. Credit card companies are banking on the fact that you won't pay it off in time. Once that 0% window closes, they hit you with the fullest interest, often backdated. Sometimes even higher than the interest you were paying before. And most people fall for it, unfortunately. They transfer their balance, breathe a sigh of relief, and then go right back to spending. Now they're deeper in debt with a bigger problem than before. So if you go down this route, you need to be disciplined, you need to be ruthless. Don't touch that credit card for new spending. Focus every dollar of your margin towards paying it down. Treat the grace period like a ticking time bomb, because it is. Used correctly, a 0% APR card can give you breathing room. But if you're not ready to be aggressive and consistent, you can actually make your situation even worse. This is not a magic fix, guys. It's a tool, and tools only work if you know how to use them properly. Now, let's talk about something that sounds smart on paper: refinancing your home to pay off credit card debt. Yeah, you might think, why not take out some equity from my house, pay off these high interest cards, and replace it with something much lower, like a mortgage rate? Sounds like a win, right? Well, not so fast. Yes, mortgage rates are usually lower than credit card APRs, but there is one big difference. Credit cards is unsecured, while home loan is secured. If you don't pay your credit card, then they can send you angry letters. They can even take you to court, but they can't take your house. If you don't pay your mortgage, the banks can force you to sell your house. That's foreclosure. That's losing roof over your head because of what used to be a $10,000 shopping spree. And it doesn't stop there. With unsecured credit card debt, you may even have options like bankruptcy to wipe the slate clean. Try doing that with your mortgage. Good luck. This isn't to say refinancing is always bad, but most people just jump into it without understanding the risk. They move the debt, breathe a sigh of relief, and then rack up the same credit card balances all over again. So if you're thinking of refinancing your debt, ask yourself, have I fixed the spending habit that got me here in the first place? Am I confident I won't fall back into the same trap? Can I absolutely afford the new mortgage payment? If not, don't do it. You don't want to trade short-term relief for long-term regret. Refinancing should be a strategic decision, not a desperate one. Treat it with the weight it actually deserves. So, let's say you cut back, right? You pick up extra work, you build up a margin, but your debt is still massive. Now what? Well, there are a few last resort options to consider. Number one is debt settlement. Here you can negotiate with the credit card company to pay less than what you owe. For example, you could pay $6,000 when you owe $10,000. What's noting is it will hit your credit score bad, but it could save you thousands. Secondly, debt consolidation. This is where you combine all your credit cards into one low interest loan. This won't reduce your debt per se, but it can simplify the payment and lower your overall interest. Just watch out for those fees and variable interest rates, right? And thirdly is bankruptcy, right? If you truly can't keep up, bankruptcy may be an option. I know it sounds scary, but in some cases, it's a legal reset. Just know the consequences. It damages your credit score for years, but it can erase unmanageable debt and give you a fresh start. And as you know, even bankrupt individuals eventually end up presidents, so I don't think it's bad after all. None of these are ideal, but they exist for a reason. So if you are considering any of them, speak to a financial advisor or an attorney and weigh in the pros and cons carefully. I really need to stress that bit. Here are my final thoughts. Credit cards aren't the enemy. In fact, when used wisely, they can help you build credit, earn rewards, and protect your purchases. But if you are carrying a balance, they quickly become a trap, one designed to profit from your habits. That's why the first step to building wealth isn't investing or saving, it's breaking free from consumers' debt. So here is your game plan. Number one, understand how much you owe. You'll be surprised how many people don't know how much they owe. Number two, create a margin by spending less and earning more. Number three, use that margin to attack your debt relentlessly. Not for saving, not for investing. Pay off that debt fast. And number four, avoid distractions like risky investments and unnecessary upgrades. After, only when your debt is gone, then you can start building wealth. So, if you're ready to stop making the banks rich and start building real financial freedom, well, let me know in the comments. And if you find this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I break down money, financial markets, and how to protect your wealth every Wednesdays and Sundays, so you can stay ahead of the economy no matter what comes your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.